news, we begin with Rome. Pope Francis continued his Mercy Friday visits by going to a school on the outskirts of Rome named after a girl who died of leukemia who loved to read books. During his visit, the Pope delivered books for the school library and listened to the students sing.
During the Jubilee of Mercy, the Pope instituted what is already a tradition, dedicating one Friday afternoon a month to visit hospitals or people in need.
Santità, benvenuto nella periferia del mondo.
55 minuti.
Ha visto quanto è lunga la strada?
On this occasion, he visited a school, Elisa Scala, located on the outskirts of Rome. The Pope was received by about 200 students. The school was started in the 50s during the demographic boom of Italy. The emotion and tears from the students were uncontrollable. The Pope watched this performance by the young people, whose voices filled the pavilion of the Institute. The high point was when they turned off the lights and sang the song, "We Are the World." Before leaving, Pope Francis directed these words to them.
Luogo di incontro, crescita e formazione. Avete capito questo?
The name of the school, Elisa, comes from one of its students, who died at age 11 due to leukemia. Additionally, they created a library for her, where the books have been donated by individuals from around the world. Pope Francis used his past skills as a professor to talk about reading.
Ricordando Elisa, che diceva di essere amica dei libri per viaggiare in milioni di posti. È bello, Perché quando tu entri in un libro, leggi, cominci a viaggiare per tutti i posti di quali parla il libro. È vero quello? O sono noiosi i libri? Cosa pensate? Sono noiosi o no? Ci sono alcuni libri noiosi, no?
Each book donated to Elisa's library has a dedication to her. More than 20,000 have arrived, and the school has even had to make them available in town hall libraries. Elisa's parents were also present at the meeting.
In news now from around the world, reactions still coming in after voters in Ireland opted to remove the right to life of the unborn from the country's constitution, paving the way for abortion on demand up to 12 weeks. Results from the nationwide vote on the 8th referendum showed that 66.4% of citizens opted to remove the 8th Amendment from the Constitution, while 33.6% voted to retain it. Turnout was at about 64.5%. An exit poll conducted by Ireland's national broadcaster, RTE, asked voters what motivated them to opt for either yes or no. Among yes voters, the most important issue was the right to choose at 84%, the health or life of the woman at 69%, that is, and pregnancy as a result of rape at 52%. Among no voters, 76% cited the right to life of the unborn, 36% were motivated by the right to life of those with Down syndrome or other disabilities, and 26% named religious views. John McGurk, spokesman for Save the Eighth, which campaigned for a no vote, said the Eighth Amendment did not create a right to life for the unborn child. It merely acknowledged that such a right exists, has always existed, and will always exist. He said a wrong does not become right simply because a majority supports it. Archbishop Eamon Martin, primate of all Ireland, insisted that the church is called to be pro-life, not just in words and statements and manifestos, but to be pro-life in deeds by being a church which reflects the loving care of Jesus for human life at any stage. That loving care, he said, includes support to help those women who face enormous challenges and who grapple with very difficult decisions to choose life. In news from the Vatican, an international conference was held at the Vatican over the weekend focusing on the Church's role in the new digital era. Rome Reports was there and has more from the Vatican.
The Centesimus Annus Pro Pontifice Foundation celebrated their 25th anniversary with an international conference on new politics and lifestyles in the digital age. Professors, philosophers, and company directors came from around the world to discuss how to apply Catholic social teaching to the world and to families in particular in the midst of the digital era.
The type of communication which is available to young people in the family and to older people is also new, and it offers possibilities and dangers. So that's obviously something parents have to learn about and dialogue with children.
The new digital era puts the parents in the position of having to take hundreds of decisions every day in things that they don't know. And this is something that it's really challenging. So decide all the time. They don't have models. They have to think about and try to understand and work out what to say to their children.
We have to consider that when a child is born now, it's not a boy or girl, it's digital. So that digital child already has and brings with him an entire alphabet in a finger. A finger. All the vowels, consonants, words, and literature are contained there. It's an image. So the education of this child must take into consideration that it's digital. In addition to the cultural aspects, the conference touched on the Church's role in all of it. While society is continuing to adapt and learn, so must the 2,000-year-old Catholic Church.
And finally in the news, on the 3rd anniversary of Pope Francis's environmental encyclical Laudato Si, Our Care for Our Common Home, Cardinal Seán O'Malley of Boston and other faith leaders joined scientists in issuing a call to action to address the ecological and moral emergency of climate change. The group issued a statement at a news conference held at the headquarters of the Boston Archdiocese in Braintree, Massachusetts. The statement said that they come together as a people of scientific competence and people of faith because continued inaction as both scientifically irrational and morally indefensible. The statement pointed to the proud history of Massachusetts as being a national leader in science, technology, and public policy that responds to the concerns of all people. It said that there is still time to take action, and that time is now. The full document, which has more than 500 signatures to date, is posted on the website of Woods Hole Research Center at whrc.org/joint/appeal. And that is all the information we have for you this time. I'm Kevin Nelson. Don't forget, you can keep up to date on Catholic news throughout the week. Catholic Newsbreak right here on the Catholic TV Network.